Joining me now to talk about the budget is Senate Minority Leader Melissa Agard. First off, thanks so much for joining us here, Senator.
Thanks for having me.
Well, there's a $7 billion surplus right now. The governor's budget would spend a large chunk of that. Republican leaders have said it's too much spending. Would the governor's spending plan leave the state in a fiscally safe position moving forward?
Absolutely. The governor is very in touch with what it is that the people of Wisconsin need and what it is that they've been asking for. We know that our local governments and our school boards have been really struggling with the lack of resources, and being able to invest some of the $7 billion plus of the surplus here in Wisconsin back into our local communities will help them take care of many of the things that they haven't been able to take care of up until now.
Are you afraid at all, though, that it would leave the budget unbalanced going into the next budget cycle?
Absolutely not. Certainly, I think that we do need to be thinking about shared revenue and how it is that we fund our schools across our public schools across the state of Wisconsin. But our local governments know how to budget. That is part of their job as well as part of our job. It's last I checked, it wasn't our job as state legislators to tell them specifically what to do every single day and how to make their decisions. We know that with the surplus, we would be able to take care of many things that haven't been able to be taken care of because our local governments have literally been cut to the bone until now.
Well, the governor has proposed $2.6 billion increase for education. Republicans say they're not going to go that high. They want, obviously, increased private school vouchers. Would you be willing to consider expanding the voucher program if it was tied to a larger school funding increase overall?
No, I would not. It is time now for us to reinvest in our public schools, the promise of public education to our kids and our future. And we know that the private school voucher program in Wisconsin is a failed experiment.
Well, local government funding is another issue you just brought up. It's a major item here that's going to be part of these budget talks. The governor wants to give 20% of the state sales tax to that shared revenue. That would be the largest jump in decades. Is such an extreme hike warranted?
Yeah, 100%. It is warranted that we invest in our local governments at all levels, whether it's our town boards, our city councils, or our county boards. Folks have not been able to take care of basic needs within their communities, including public safety. I've had the opportunity to talk with not only in the 16th Senate District, which I represent, but also across the state of Wisconsin, first responders, firefighters, EMS, and police officers. And there have so many positions that have been unfilled, and they have very many equipment needs as well. I know that one of the real promises of government is ensuring that all people are safe within their communities. So if we're going to make that investment, now is the time to do that.
Well, both sides are looking at ways to increase transportation funding right now. The Speaker boss is again pushing for toll roads. Is that something you would even consider?
I think we have a lot of other ways that we can move forward in addressing transportation needs across the state of Wisconsin. We have Amtrak wanting to expand train services through Wisconsin. We have local governments asking for multimodal transportation options within their communities and the ability to work with their friends and neighbors in other communities. There are many things that we can be doing to address transportation needs in Wisconsin for the long run. And I don't believe that toll roads is the answer.
You have publicly supported the governor's plan to spend about $290 million in funding for the Brewers to upgrade their stadium. Why should taxpayer funds be used to help out a private franchise reportedly worth more than $1 billion?
So the Brewers are located within a section of Milwaukee that is actually the responsibility of the state. We also know that when we invest in the Brewers, we are bringing revenue into the state of Wisconsin. The thought of losing the Brewers and losing the tax base of having the Brewers in the state of Wisconsin is short-sighted, and I look forward to being able to work in a bipartisan manner to figure out how it is to keep the Brewers here, but do it in a way that is fiscally responsible for the whole state of Wisconsin and for generations to come.
Do you consider the $290 million as fiscally responsible?
The 290 million, when we have over 7 billion with a B dollar surplus, that's a one-time investment. And keeping the brewers here in Wisconsin, I think, is reasonable, and that is not um, the full number on the price tag in order to getting this done. It's an investment of the state, along with investments of other partners.
Both sides are proposing tax cuts here with this budget. The governor's proposal has really a targeted tax cut up to certain incomes. The GOP had hinted that they would be looking at potentially a flat tax across the board. Where is the compromise opportunity here when it comes to taxes? Because both sides are proposing tax cuts of some sort.
It's vitally important that the ordinary people of the state of Wisconsin, hardworking folks who go to work every day and are making money for their bosses, trying very hard to take care of their families, are the number one priority when it comes to providing tax relief. We have uh, many years of providing tax relief for corporations and wealthy people in Wisconsin, as well as at the federal level. And it's time for us to see the people of our communities and provide them with that relief. It's a promise to a better society.
One other thing that came up in the budget here, the governor has proposed full legalization of marijuana. Now, Republicans likely won't agree to that. You have said you plan to introduce a bill on legalization in some form or capacity. What do you think is realistic at this point in time? Is it medical legalization or total legalization?
I know that the vast majority of people in Wisconsin support full responsible adult usage of cannabis, and that the prohibition of cannabis in the state of Wisconsin makes us a less safe state. It is past time for us to realize that we are now an island of prohibition in the Midwest, surrounded by Michigan, Illinois, and very soon Minnesota, with full responsible adult usage. Getting this done in the right way is vitally important. The devil is in the details with all policy making, but I think what we've seen across the nation as other states have moved forward with legalization, that getting it done right and paying attention to the details is the right thing to do. Responsible adult usage will not only bring in revenue through taxes and fees, it will address the illicit market that currently is very successful and exists in the state of Wisconsin, would be able to address racial disparities, reinvest in our agricultural and farming heritage, and support entrepreneurship in our communities, lift up our main streets. The list goes on and on. It is past time for Wisconsin to legalize cannabis for responsible adult usage, and I applaud Governor Evers for provisions in the budget. If and when the Republicans do strip them out, we will be introducing a standalone bill for cannabis legalization in our state as well.
And that means full legalization, recreational and medical.
Responsible adult usage, yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the time this week, Senator. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.